Leo and Sophie were the couple everyone envied. They met in college, a classic story of the quiet, studious guy falling for the vibrant, life-of-topped girl. Leo was an engineering major, meticulous and thoughtful. Sophie was studying art history, full of passion and spontaneity. For 5 years, they were inseparable. Leo believed he had found his soulmate. He supported her dreams even when they seemed impractical. He helped fund her art gallery tours in Europe and was her biggest cheerleader when she started her own small online boutique. He never once questioned her late nights out with friends, her frequent weekend trips, or the constant stream of messages on her phone. He trusted her completely. For Leo, trust wasn't just a word. It was the foundation of their entire world. His friends, however, were more skeptical. Mark, his best friend since childhood, would often gently probe. "Are you sure you're okay with her going out so much, man?" he'd ask. "It just seems like you two are on different pages sometimes." Leo would always laugh it off. "That's just Sophie," he'd say. "She's a social butterfly. I love that about her. It balances me out." He truly believed it. He saw her vibrant social life not as a threat, but as a part of the woman he loved. He was building a future in his mind, a future where his steady reliability and her sparkling energy created a perfect whole. He was even saving up for a ring, a beautiful custom piece he had been designing for months. The cracks started to appear subtly at first. A forgotten anniversary, a last-minute cancellation of their date night. Sophie would always have a plausible excuse. "Oh, babe, I'm so sorry. A friend had a crisis. I had to be there for her." Or, "Work is just swamped. This new project is killing me." Leo, ever the understanding partner, would just nod and say, "It's okay. We'll celebrate next week." He'd cook her favorite meal to have ready when she got home late, only for her to text saying she was too tired and was just going straight to bed. The distance between them was growing, but Leo was in denial. He kept telling himself it was just a phase, a rough patch that every long-term couple goes through. The truth, when it came, wasn't a slow reveal. It was a sledgehammer. It was a Tuesday evening. Leo had planned a surprise for Sophie. He'd booked a table at the fancy Italian restaurant where they had their first date. He'd bought a new shirt. He was excited, hoping to reconnect and bring back some of the old magic. He called her in the afternoon to tell her to dress up for a special night out. She sounded distracted and said she had to work late, a big deadline. Disappointed but understanding, Leo canceled the reservation. He decided to have a quiet night in, maybe order some pizza, and watch a movie. Around 9 o'clock, his friend Mark called. His voice was strange. "Leo, where are you?" he asked. "I'm at home. Why?" "And where's Sophie?" Mark pressed. "Working late. She has a big project." There was a long pause on the other end of the line. "Leo," Mark said slowly, "I'm at that new bar downtown, the Gilded Cage, and I'm looking right at her. She's not working, and she's not alone." Leo's heart stopped, as the world seemed to tilt on its axis. He couldn't breathe. "What do you mean?" he managed to whisper. "She's with a guy, Leo, and they're not just talking. They're all over each other." Leo's mind went blank. He grabbed his keys and drove. He didn't remember the journey, only the feeling of a cold, heavy dread in the pit of his stomach. He parked half a block away and walked to the bar, his legs feeling like lead. He peered through the large glass window, and there she was, Sophie. His Sophie. She was laughing, her head thrown back in a way he knew so well. But she was looking at another man. His arm was draped casually around her shoulders, his fingers tangled in her hair. As Leo watched, frozen in horror, she leaned in and kissed him. It wasn't a friendly peck. It was a deep, passionate kiss, the kind she used to give him. Something inside Leo broke. The 5 years of love, trust, and shared dreams shattered into a million tiny pieces. He didn't storm in. He didn't cause a scene. He just turned around, walked back to his car, and drove home in a daze. The next morning, when Sophie waltzed in, humming a cheerful tune and talking about how exhausting work had been, Leo was silent. He just looked at her, and for the first time he saw a stranger. "Where were you last night, Sophie?" he asked, his voice eerily calm. She launched into a well-rehearsed story about her demanding boss and a presentation that went late. Leo let her finish. Then he said, "I was at the Gilded Cage. I saw you." The color drained from her face. The cheerful facade crumbled, replaced by panic. She started stammering, trying to make excuses, but the words wouldn't come. Leo didn't raise his voice. He just said, "Pack your things. I want you out of my house by the end of the day." The breakup was brutal. Sophie cried. She begged. She accused him of spying on her. But Leo was a rock. The man who had been so blind was now seeing with painful clarity. The pain was immense, a physical ache in his chest. But underneath the pain, a cold, hard anger began to form. He had given her everything. His love, his trust, his future, and she had thrown it all away for a cheap thrill at a downtown bar. In the weeks that followed, Leo was a ghost. He went to work. He came home. He stared at the walls of the empty apartment. The anger festered. He learned from mutual friends that the other guy was a wealthy older man, a client of her boutique. Sophie had apparently been seeing him for months. She hadn't just cheated, she had been living a double life. She had moved in with the guy almost immediately after Leo kicked her out. It was then that the pain turned into something else. A desire for justice. Not petty revenge, but a reckoning. Leo was a meticulous planner. It was in his nature. He had helped Sophie set up her entire online business. He had designed her website, managed her social media accounts, and set up her e-commerce platform. He knew every password, every back-end system, every single detail of her operation. His name was still on many of the administrative accounts. He had built her little empire from the ground up. He realized with a chilling sense of clarity that he could also tear it down. He started subtly. He began by redirecting her website's contact form inquiries to a dead-end email address. Customer questions went unanswered. Complaints vanished into the ether. Then he tinkered with the inventory system. Popular items were suddenly listed as out of stock, while undesirable products were shown as bestsellers. Sales began to plummet. Sophie, who had never bothered to learn the technical side of her own business, was completely baffled. She would call him frantic, asking if he knew what was wrong with the site. Leo would play dumb. "I don't know, Sophie," he'd say coolly. "You should probably hire an IT professional to look at it. It's your business, after all." The final move was his masterpiece. Sophie was about to launch her biggest collection yet, a spring line she had been hyping for weeks. The launch was scheduled for a Friday at noon. She'd spent a fortune on marketing, an online launch party, and influencer collaborations. But the night before the launch, Leo logged in one last time. He didn't crash the site. That would be too obvious. Instead, he replaced every single product image with a picture of a potato. Hundreds of them. Raw potatoes, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, potato salad. Her beautifully designed website, meant to showcase high-end fashion, was now an absurd gallery of spuds. Under each one, the price tag remained, some for hundreds of dollars. The next day, the internet went wild. Screenshots of the potato collection went viral. Sophie's business became a laughingstock overnight. Memes were created. Her company's social media pages were flooded with jokes and ridicule. Her new wealthy boyfriend, embarrassed by the public humiliation, quickly distanced himself from her and her catastrophic business failure. Her reputation was in tatters. Within a month, she had to shut down the boutique for good. Leo never said a word. He never confessed. He just watched from the sidelines as the world he had built for her crumbled, not with a bang, but with 1,000 potato pictures. He didn't feel joy or satisfaction, just a quiet, cold sense of closure. He had been betrayed, and he had simply balanced the scales. He took a long vacation, deleted her number, and started the slow process of rebuilding his own life, this time on a foundation of self-respect. He learned a hard lesson about blind trust, but he also learned that he was stronger than he ever thought. The quiet, studious guy had found his roar. Thanks for watching. If you have a story you'd like to share, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.